Good day and welcome everybody to this webinar from Solace, joined by Sigfox. In today's webinar, you will learn about how you turn your IoT data into business insight. Joining us today are Magali Boulet, our sales engineer from Solace, and Aurélien Lecatier, who is responsible for developer relations at Sigfox. And both will be discussing on how you can get ahead of your competitors by distributing your IoT data to your enterprise applications. So with that, let me hand over to our first presenter, Magali. Welcome to our webinar.
Thank you, Ines, and good morning or good afternoon to everyone who is connected. Today we are going to present what we can do with the power of a powerful message broker to the Sigfox network when it comes to getting data from IoT devices. So I'm very happy to be here today with Aurélien Lecatier from Sigfox. Aurélien, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, so my name is Aurélien. I've been working at Sigfox for a bit more than a year, and I am part of the technical adoption team, and more particularly in charge of developer relations.
And myself, I am Magali Boulet. I'm working as a pre-sale consultant for Solace in France. Where I am based. So I guess I'm going to very quickly turn to the agenda and what we are going to cover today. So first, Aurélien will present you the Sigfox network and Sigfox as a company. Then I will take over and I will give you a few words and an overview of what Solace does in terms of messaging. And finally, we will be happy to show you a live demo of how we can distribute the data coming from a device connected to the Sigfox network to enterprise applications. So I'm going to now hand over to Aurélien, and we will start by speaking about Sigfox.
Thank you, Magali. So for those of you who don't know Sigfox, so we define Sigfox as a global low-power wide area network. And what we mean by low power is we want to have objects with autonomy. So basically, with a Sigfox device, the goal is to be able to run with the same battery for years. So typically, we've got devices in our ecosystem that can last for 10, 15 years. So it's pretty much the lifetime of an object. So our network is global. We will see on the next slide the map with the current coverage, but it's a global network, and the purpose of having that is that if you have a device, you are building a solution, for instance, in UK, and your device are moving to different countries like Germany or the US, you've got a completely transparent roaming. So we've got, of course, some technical roaming, but on the customer point of view, it's totally transparent. So the technology is low cost. So at the moment, we've got Sigfox modules. So Sigfox modules is like a modem to be able to access to our network for less than $2 to $3. So it's very affordable to add Sigfox connectivity to existing devices. And also the subscription cost is quite low as well, depending on the volume and the number of devices. It's going to be between $1 and $10 per year per device. And the last point is that Sigfox is easy to use, so we don't require any SIM card. It's very easy to pair the device to the network. Once you turn it on, it will start sending messages to the network, and you don't have to configure anything. So here is a current view of the coverage. So as you can see, we've got pretty good coverage in Western Europe, in Nordic countries as well. We've got good rolling out ongoing in South America, Central America, in the US as well. Australia, New Zealand is quite well covered also. We've got Japan. We have just announced Thailand, Costa Rica, and two other ones that I forgot last week. Tunisia. But so we are present in 36 countries. And the goal is to be present in 60 countries by the end of next year. So what do we provide at Sigfox? So we actually provide a network. So we don't make objects, we don't make big data platform. So our goal is really to provide a pipe for our customers. So we are like an operator, but dedicated to the IoT. And using Sigfox, you can send up to 140 messages per day per device. And the data, the content of the data is 12 bytes. So it may seem quite small, 12 bytes, but we will see after that you can put actually a lot of data in such a small payload. So we've got a cloud, of course, for identification and authentication integrity. And then we've got partners, so like Solace, that are using where we are transferring the data before going to the end customers. So we are present across all industries, of course. I'm going to go through all of them, but typically one of the big use cases that we have is asset tracking. So asset tracking, either we use only Sigfox connectivity, but we can mix it with other technologies. And one good example of that is actually what we've been doing with Airbus. So Airbus has been using Sigfox track spare parts between their headquarters and sites of their different suppliers, not only France, but also across Europe. And they've been using a solution made by one of our partners called Solace. And Solace, so they are making those small devices that you can see in the bottom of the slide. It's actually mixing other technologies. It's also mixing GPS for outdoor geolocation and Bluetooth beaconing to track devices indoor.
Oh, yeah. Can you just wait, because there is a delay between what you say and what we are seeing on the webcast, like a 30-second delay, something like that.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So maybe if people want to see what you are doing with Airbus, maybe just give them some time to.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Thanks.
So. To keep going on Airbus, there are some benefits for the customers. As I mentioned at the beginning, we have a very transparent roaming. So doing the cross-country tracking is very easy using our technology. Solace have made a pretty good portal, web portal, so where you can track in real time where the assets are located across the different sites of the company. So to give a bit some details regarding Sigfox, I'm just going to explain briefly how the technology works on the radio side. So as we mentioned, Sigfox is a low-power wide area network, and Sigfox is based on what we call ultra-narrowband. So if you look at other technologies that is dedicated to IoT, for instance, if you look at LoRa is using a different type of modulation that is called spread spectrum. Sigfox, we are using what we call ultra-narrowband. So it's actually very efficient in terms of power. Message is sent in a 100 Hertz wide channel. So if you know a bit about radio, 100 Hertz is actually very, very narrow. And thanks to that, we can have a very high capacity. We can handle millions of messages per day per base station. So it's quite an efficient technology. The other benefit of using ultra-narrowband is that it's very resistant to jamming because we are concentrating the energy on a very small channel. If some people want to try to jam the Sigfox signal, it will require very, very complex, robust jammers. Just actually to give you an example of one of the big customers that we have in Europe, which is called Securitas. So Securitas is doing home alarms. And so they are using like traditional GSM network to report the alerts if someone is breaking into the house. But if you go, for instance, on eBay, you can buy a jammer for like $20, $30. So it's quite cheap. And so if you jam the GSM signal, alert will not reach the person or the police. And so Securitas is using Sigfox as a backup technology if they detect some jamming on the GSM network. So to finish regarding the Sigfox technology, so as I said, the devices can send 12 bytes payload, so up to 140 messages per day. 12 bytes, in 12 bytes you can actually put a lot of information. If you want to report like temperature or speed, 1 or 2 bytes will be enough. When I was mentioning asset tracking, which is one of the big use cases, to send GPS coordinates is usually just 6 bytes. So it's 90–95% of the IoT use cases, they don't require a big bunch of data to work. One last thing to note is that it's a bidirectional technology, so you can also send messages to devices, 8 bytes payload, and it's quite interesting if you want to change typically the configuration that is on your device. Okay, I think that's it for me on the Sigfox end.
Okay, thank you, Aurélien, and thank you for this presentation of this great French company, actually. So now it's my turn to give you a little bit of overview of Solace, and I will switch topic, and I will speak about messaging. So messaging is quite a hot topic these days. You may have heard or read things around microservices and event-driven microservices, and this is really what we do at Solace. Before getting into the technology, let me give you an overview of who is Solace as a company. So Solace is not French, it's a Canadian company, born 16 years ago. We are middleware experts. So we've been doing middleware and connectivity for all of our lives, actually. And so we have a worldwide presence as well as worldwide customers. And we are spread all over the world with 15 offices. What we do is that we provide a connecting solution allowing applications exchange messages. A highly powerful and highly performant messaging solution. And the DNA of Solace is really the open data movement. So the open data movement means for us the ability for applications to use any kind of protocol, kind of message exchange pattern, to be able to run anywhere in order to exchange messages or data in almost real time. So this is really the open data movement that we are using at Solace, and which drives the development of our solution. If I open up those 4 pillars of the open data movement, let's have a look at what it means in detail. So for the application using Solace, it means that they would be able to use protocols that you are seeing here. So for instance, you may have an application publishing messages to Solace using AMQP. You may also have subscribers getting messages from Solace using HTTP-based protocol or using MQTT. So it really for us the ability to bridge between different kind of protocols or APIs. So on this slide, you are seeing JMS, and JMS is just one of the APIs we are supporting and providing, but obviously we are providing the common enterprise application APIs such as Java, JavaScript, C, C#, etc. Regarding the message exchange patterns, obviously you may have understood that we are a pub/sub message broker, so it means that applications are able to publish messages and other kind of applications can consume, subscribe to messages. But we know that when it comes to integrating application, PubSub is not always useful and relevant. So we also support, for instance, request reply. And most importantly, we are really easily able to implement those different message patterns together. So when it comes to the IoT, we may receive information from a device, and we can fan out or distribute in parallel the data from the device to different kinds of backend at the same time, and in a very reliable and performant way. So when it comes to reliability, our message broker solution allows you to provide guarantee in the delivery of the message. So it's up to you to decide whether you want to persist or not the messages. So if you want to do a fire and forget, or guarantee in the delivery of the data. And finally, when we say open data, so the ability to be open is really important to us. And so we have taken the decision at Solace to be able to be run anywhere. So anywhere means on-premise and on any cloud, public or private, or even on PaaS, platform as a service environments. So with Solace, you can really bridge different kind of environments and different kind of choice you may do when it comes to deploying your workloads on the cloud or on-premise. So how do we do this? So we have three form factors. Hopefully you will see that quickly on the slide. There is still a 30-second delay, so apologize for that. I hope it's not a big problem for you following the webinar. We have then three form factors. We provide an appliance-based solution, which is using LPWA technology. So this is due to our first success in the financial industry. And then we decided 2 years ago to come up with a software-only solution and be deployed as a VM or as a Docker image on any cloud, public or private cloud. And finally, we are about to launch a as-a-service solution, so messaging as a service, where you as a customer would buy or subscribe to a number of messages per second, per day, per hour, and it will be a managed service by Solace. So you may choose between those three form factors, and obviously these three form factors can be mixed together, and you can deploy potentially at different places on the cloud or on-premise. So speaking about the cloud, so we understand now that when it comes to enterprise applications or to the cloud enterprise applications have to deal with different kind of development framework, different kind of protocols, different kind of DevOps tools. They want to keep in mind, well, the people developing the application want to keep in mind that applications need to be resilient and loosely coupled. So this is where Solace can really come into the game, where we could act as a bridge between all these different environments, allowing these different applications to work together. So this is hopefully what you can see on this slide, where Solace can be easily deployed on-premise or in any type of cloud, allowing messages be distributed where they are needed. So the capacity of Solace to be bridged with other Solace appliances allows us to distribute messages only where there are subscriptions and where there are applications subscribing and requesting those messages. So about IoT, because it's also the subject of today's discussion. So the idea is very simple. We can provide a scalable IoT platform at Solace. Whether you would start with our software-only based solution or even our software as a service or messaging as a service solution to our high-end appliance, hardware appliance, can help you scale and provide a very reliable and powerful IoT broker. So, as I said in the introduction, we have a worldwide presence with customers all over the world. Our legacy is really the financial markets and the financial customers, where we are being used as a message broker for distributing market data, for instance, or as a post-trade bus. But we have expanded the scope of Solace, and we are now, we can be used in the gaming industry and also in transportation industry, where we are used as the data layer or the message bus in the Singapore city, where we are part of the Smart City initiative. So now I would like to get into the real stuff with the demo of what we have worked together with Aurélien, connecting Sigfox and Solace. So please bear with me with 2 seconds. So I will launch the screen sharing environment, and hopefully it should come up on your side. So let's switch screen share. Okay, yeah, it's working. So what we would like so before doing the screen, I will just give you an overview of the demo on what we have worked with Aurélien. So the idea was to show how we could distribute the device data to enterprise applications. It's good to do IoT. Yes, it's nice to connect devices, but the ultimate goal is to take a decision on the data you are gathering from the devices, maybe to do predictive maintenance, maybe to do real-time analysis. You want to do something out of the device data. The idea is to combine the powerful network of Sigfox, the reliable message broker of Solace, in order to distribute the IoT data to the enterprise application. So, we worked on a prototype, and I have chosen to use different clouds and different applications to distribute data from a SenseIt device, which is a partner from Sigfox. And I will show it to you, hopefully, if the video is working as expected. Let's cross our finger now. So here you may, hopefully you will see the global picture of the Sigfox network receiving information from devices. And Sigfox connectivity is sending this device data to Solace. And Solace is acting as a bridge, an IoT bridge, if you will, between IoT devices to enterprise applications. And again, these enterprise applications could be located anywhere on premise or in any kind of cloud or running on any kind of hypervisor solution. Solace can provide what I call rest assured. And it's a matter of providing a decoupled architecture. I said in the introduction that messaging is a hot topic, and because we hear a lot about microservices and event-driven microservices, this is really what we are doing. we are able to decouple the producers from the consumers. So it means that Sigfox can send data from billions of devices to Solace, and Solace will decouple this producing data from the consuming applications, providing a scalable environment for distributing the data. And lastly, but I think it's also very important for you listening to this webinar, we are very cloud agnostic. So it means that whenever you choose, for instance, Azure and tomorrow AWS or Bluemix, for us, it's just a matter of changing the connectivity, because we can run on anywhere on these clouds or on-premise on your environment. Now that I have presented the use case, now you would hopefully see in real time the distribution of a Sensit Sigfox device, Solace, and Solace will distribute the data to 4 backend applications. I have chosen to use SAP HANA running on AWS. Also, I have chosen to use Cloudant in Bluemix. This is a NoSQL database. I have the MQTT mobile application running on my mobile phone, and hopefully I will be able to show it to you using the video. I will start in a minute. And lastly, I have a Twitter connectivity. So maybe it's more B2C use case where consumers could subscribe to a Twitter account in order to receive information from a typical device. All right, so now let's do the screen sharing stuff, and so hopefully you should be able to see my screen now. Yeah. So sorry, it's a little bit technical here because I'm using SAP HANA navigator browser, should I say. There you can see in real time the data which are stored or provided into SAP HANA running in AWS. So I'm showing that to you because I want to see the sequence number, and you will be able to see new sequence number when I will be able to send a message from the Sigfox device. So here the latest one is 113.913, and in Cloudant, so let me go back to Cloudant. We got the same, obviously, the same sequence number here. All right? Okay. So now I will use, and hopefully you should be able to see me. Yes. So I'm using this Sensit device, and I'm going to open the box in a minute, but not today or immediately, because it is configured so it will react to the light. So whenever I open the box, the device will be sending information. Let's do this. So here you can see the device, and it is flashing. So it means that it is reacting to the light, and information should have been sent by Sigfox to Solace. And Solace should have been distributing the data to the applications I've showed you before. Let's have a look. First in Cloudant. So if I refresh this, I'll go back to my query. Sorry. So I go back to my query again. So let me copy and paste this one and run the query again. All right, so we see new sequence number, meaning that data has been sent, actually 2 messages have been sent to Cloudant. So let's have a look in SAP HANA, and we will do the same refresh, and you will see the same sequence number, hopefully. Yes, it's distributing at the same time device data to 2 backend applications. have a look in Twitter now. So here I've got a Java program showing what has been sent to Twitter, and on my Twitter handle. So let me go to Twitter now. We should be able to see this, hopefully. It takes some time. So yeah, and on my tweet, you will see the device information being received. If Twitter wants to, yeah, all right, say yes, you can see the Sigfox notification. So I've made some tests before the webinar, which you can see here, but you see the message which have been received. I would like to show you again the MQTT application, and hopefully, so you should be able to see, hopefully, yes, an MQTT application running on my cell phone. Maybe the quality is not that good, but anyway, you would get the idea where we are using Solace to bridge different kind of protocol. And here I've got a mobile MQTT ready application which is receiving, and here you can see the messages, or you can guess maybe the message which has been received from Solace, coming from the Sigfox device. So just to get back to the device, so again, you can configure it for detecting temperature, for instance. I have used the light because it's very easy to demo, but temperature or the magnetism information, and then upon the reception of an event, a message is being sent to Sigfox and distributed to enterprise application using Solace. All right, so I think this is it. So shall I get back to the screen now and back to the slides? All right, I think that concludes the webinar. So I don't know if, yes, we have questions from the audience. Okay, so let's have a look at the first question. I'm not sure if you can have a look at the question yourself on the webinar. So, okay, but Sigfox may be used for massive IoT. What are the possibilities of transferring the data from devices when lesser information is concerned? Is it a question for you or for me?
Not sure. I think so. When you are using Sigfox, you can transfer the data to different platforms. We've got multiple partners, of course, Solace, but we can also transfer the data to Azure or to AWS or to your own application server using an HTTP REST API. So I think the rest of the question is maybe more for you, like maybe what would be the benefits of transferring the data to Solace?
Yeah. So as I've briefly said in the previous slide, actually, and maybe I can get back to this one. Hopefully, yes. So the benefits of Solace is really what is mentioned on this page. Hopefully you will be able to see quickly. So it's really the idea of decoupling the producers from the consumers. So it's a choice of an architecture. It's an architectural decision, whether you want to do request reply or event-driven architecture. Basically, this is the question. Going to the path of event-driven architecture will bring you very flexible, a lot of flexibility in your architecture and a lot of performance, because whenever you have a consumer which may be slow, Solace can handle that and will not impact the producers. So if there is a slow consumer application not handling the amount of load that the message broker is receiving, then Solace can handle that and will not impact the producer, which can send, for instance, a very high rate of messages per second. Then Solace will keep it up and whenever the application, the slow application is up and ready, then Solace will be able to deal with it and distribute the messages. So it's really the architecture choice, and then, of course, there is the ability to bridge between different kind of protocols and to be cloud agnostic and to be run anywhere. So shall we have a look at the second question, which is for you?
Yeah, so I'm actually not familiar with Apache Kafka, but...
oh, maybe yeah, I am familiar, but this is a question for Sigfox, so why didn't you like to use Apache Kafka? So this is a Sigfox choice, I guess.
Yeah, so I think I would need more information on Apache Kafka.
It's another message broker on the market.
Okay. Well, I think it's a bit related to the first question. It's not about selecting Solace or another partner. We've got multiple partners, and then our end customers just have the choice to use the one they prefer or that they are getting used to use every day. So we are just trying to be open regarding the ecosystem, so we are not privileging one partner or another.
And finally, so the last question is, can you provide some more info about indoor tracking?
Yes, so that was the use case with Airbus. So for the indoor tracking, they are using Bluetooth technology, BA with beacons. The way it works is that they are putting some Bluetooth beacons, so Bluetooth devices, into different parts of the premises of the company, in different locations, in the headquarters, in the other premises. When a device enters a new building, the Sigfox device will detect the beacon and will send information about this beacon to the cloud. So using Sigfox network.
Are there other questions? Or I think you can use the chat if you want to ask a question. Or do we have a line? I'm not sure we have a line open for live questions. Anyway, get in touch with us. Obviously, you can send us an email or reach out using Twitter or whatever social media you may want to use. So I guess we will close now. Thanks a lot for your attention and your active participation, and I wish you a very good day.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Bye.